Am I the asshole for not getting my boyfriend a free pizza? For context, this situation happened about a year ago. It caused one of the biggest arguments we have had as a couple to date. As a couple we get on pretty well and agree on most things and communicate well, so we have disagreements, but full-blown arguments for us is rare. But it continues to be brought up by him and our friends, so I agreed I'd let Reddit decide. Me, 25 at the time F, and my boyfriend, 25 at the time M, had recently moved in together. He is in a band and every week on a Tuesday he has band practice. At the time, he would always go straight from work to practice and he would always order a takeaway between work and band for his tea that night, and I would sort myself out. One time, I fancied a Domino's. For those who don't like in the UK, if it's different elsewhere, on Tuesdays Domino's has 2 for Tuesdays, where it's buy one get one free pizzas. When I ordered they asked if I wanted a second. My mindset for this question was, he always eats at band, and at the time we lived in an apartment block on the top floor with no lift, so it was 4 windy steep floors to climb, and carrying one pizza and my work bag up them was hard enough without the second one on top, risk of sliding and dropping. So I said no. When he got home, he asked what I'd had for tea and I told him. He asked where his was and I explained I assumed he'd eaten at work as normal, so didn't get him one. He lost it. He stormed out the room and slammed the door shouting that I was selfish. I laughed to begin with because I thought he was playing, but after about 10 minutes I realized he was being deadly serious. His argument is it's a free pizza regardless, and I should have got him one for his lunch tomorrow if he wanted it, and I hadn't thought about him at all. Now, I understood his points, and to me it was an oversight where I didn't think it through properly. But I think a full-blown argument, which went on most of the night, was over-dramatic. I was being stupid but not an awe. Also, when he ordered takeaways at work he never brought me anything home, and I always sorted my own tea out on a Tuesday, so shouldn't that work both ways? Like I say, it continues to be brought up by our friends who sided with him, in more of a jokey way now, but they're still adamant I was an awe. Edit. Thanks everyone for your replies. I did reply to a comment with this, but more people are commenting, so thought I should add it here. For the people commenting about his reaction being a red flag and concerns from just reading this, I understand that. But just to reassure people, we've been together 2 years and this reaction was completely out of character, which is why I laughed and thought it was a joke. There have been no other reactions like this, and there are no worries with his anger. We have had disagreements about much bigger issues with no reactions like this. As below, he is clearly just very passionate about Domino's. Also to add, when I say it is still being brought up now, he's not bringing it up in an argumentative way. More of an ongoing joke. When Domino's is mentioned he will make a joke of it. We both see the funny side of this now and both laugh at the jokes. It's not an ongoing issue. But we still disagree about who was wrong in this situation, lightheartedly. Which is why I said I'd bring it here for Reddit to decide. He's not still angry about pizza a year on. It's interesting to see how split the opinions are on this. Thanks, smile. Not the asshole, and who stays mad about pizza for a whole year? He needs to grow up and drop it. Not the asshole. The fact that is still being brought up irritates me, and if you got a second pizza, it would be yours, not his, for lunch. Yours. Not the asshole. Your boyfriend sounds like he's 12. Not the asshole, and not stupid either. You made a perfectly sound decision and he can get over it. To me it was an oversight where I didn't think it through properly. But I think a full-blown argument, which went on most of the night, was over-dramatic. I was being stupid but not an awe. Agreed. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my dad that I don't care about my siblings? I, F17, grew up without a dad since I was 4. All I knew about him was from my mother. My mum told me that my dad, we'll call Terry, was domestically abusive towards her, which is one of the reasons we had to leave. I remember Terry trying to take me from my own mother by putting me in his car and driving off. When he would take me in on weekends, I would be very neglected. Recently, Terry has been trying to get into contact with me. He found my Twitter and tried to message me. He was blocked and I deactivated my Twitter. I found his Instagram and blocked him there. A year later, he found my TikTok. He tried commenting on my videos. I blocked him, hoping he'd take the hint. My merch page is connected to my TikTok so that followers can buy my work. I'm an artist in my spare time. He had followed my link and sent me a text. It read, "Hi Anon 0520. I know you probably don't want to talk to me, but I thought you should know a bit about me. I'm now living in. You have a sister K. 8. who is so desperate to talk to you. And a brother K2, 3. He doesn't know about you yet. I also suffer from anxiety. I hope you are well and your mum is too. I've never stopped thinking about you. I see that you like dancing and music. I hope you do read this and not block me. You can ask me anything? Love, Terry KK2XXX. After reading the message, I wasn't sure how to react. I was upset, angry, and confused. I let my mum know as I usually do, and she told me to block him. You cannot block people on the site I have been using. What bothered me is that he knew I want nothing to do with him and knows I've been blocking him. My reply: this is inappropriate. If you or Kay wish to talk to me, I'm sure my mum will arrange something if you reach out to her. You know her email, her Facebook, her number, etc. You know where my grandma lives too. I'm sorry, but you chose to move on and have another family. You cannot use your children into guilting me to not block you. I have never met these kids, nor do I really care about them. Maybe take the damn hint that I don't want to talk to you right now? You're not my dad. My name isn't even Lane anymore, so stop calling me it. I'm sorry that I can't be a good older sister to K and K2. I remember what you did. Now please, I wish you peace. Please leave me alone. As I said, you have my mum's details if you wish to talk. Thanks for your efforts. I hope you get peace of mind soon knowing that I'm safe, happy, and have a good future ahead. From Anon0520. I told one of my friends my reply and she blew up on me, calling me an asshole for saying I don't care about my siblings and that I should give Terry another chance. I explained what happened in the past and she told me that people can change, despite the fact that I mentioned that he was domestically abusive towards my mother and neglectful towards me. She said it doesn't matter and that I should give them a chance. I still refuse to, as these kids aren't my concern as I haven't ever met them. So Reddit, am I the asshole? Edit. I have seen the evidence of the abuse through pictures, messages, court log books that my mother kept in case they needed to go to court. The neglect was that I often came home to my mum with head lice, was only fed cheese sandwiches, and not washed, clean. Not the asshole and good for you. Also, there's a real chance your friend has been abused or will be with that type of mentality, unfortunately. I'm not saying people can never change, but odds are good, he didn't. Also, regardless of that fact, he's not a good person. No need to forgive or accept. Woman shrugging, light skin tone. Not the asshole. You have a right to your feelings. Tell your friend that some abusers never change until they end up bashing their spouses to death. Not the asshole. Your friend is reacting from her own issues, it sounds like. You don't owe them anything, and your father's pushiness is not a good sign in light of his past behavior. Not the asshole. I hear what your friend is saying and maybe one day you will want to have a relationship with your dad or half-siblings, but that doesn't have to be today or ever. I think you were actually quite mature in your response to your father and absolutely not the asshole at all. Not the asshole. You did right. You want nothing to do with him or his kids. As your friend says, people change. But that doesn't mean they get a free pass to walk into your life. Like they've done nothing. Your choice not to deal with him. WIBTAH if I don't get my kid sedated for her dental visit? Edit to add a comment that answers a lot of questions about her anxiety. Having the more extensive work done under sedation is definitely an option we're weighing. Her dentist nor her specialist believe that she needs to be sedated at all though. Her anxiety is apparent leading up to the appointment, but once she's in the chair she's always fine. No elevated heart rate, no sweating, no hyperventilating, no signs of anxiety at all. She's fallen asleep in the chair getting work done before. I thought the anti-anxiety cocktail would be a good compromise. End comment. While she's never had to sit for this long, neither dentist recommends the multiple sedations she's asking for. The specialist wants to give her anti-anxiety medication the night before, then they'll give her laughing gas the day off. She's never had the anti-anxiety medication before, but she's had the laughing gas and homegirl was loopy as hell. Lol. Yes, I know where the parents and the onus falls on us when it comes to her dental hygiene. Don't act like y'all weren't kids before hiding good shit that your parents never found before. It's an uphill battle that we're working on. We are trying. She's just a kid doing kid shit. That happens to cost her parents a ton of money. We're not trying to punish her with cruelty and fear. Thank y'all for the various insights. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all, I'm really struggling here. My 12-yo needs extensive dental work, like hours worth of work broken up over several visits. It's so bad that our regular dentist didn't feel comfortable doing it and referred her out to a pediatric specialist. The specialist was convinced that she chugged liters of soda every day. We don't even drink soda. So it's going to cost a pretty penny, but it can all be done with her mouth being numbed and the work performed while she's awake. The thing is, she has moderate anxiety in general and pretty bad anxiety regarding the dentist. She starts stressing, obsessing and crying about the appointment the day she finds out about it until it's over. It's a lot on her. Insurance is going to cover most of the work. We're going to end up paying about $800 oop. The thing is, she's so scared that she wants to be completely sedated, not just numbed. Which is going to cost an additional $1,000 per visit. Her dentist is going to give her anti-anxiety medication the night before and laughing gas the day of, in addition to the numbing because her anxiety is so high. I'm all for accommodating kids and I do, but I don't want to spend an additional $3,000 for sedation when all of this could have been avoided in the first place. Her teeth are so bad because she sneaks tons of gummy candy at night. Candy given by grandparents, cousins, friends, dad, etc. After I go to work, then doesn't brush or floss her teeth. We've been through this before, not to this extent though. She knows she's not allowed to eat gummy candy. I'm constantly taking gummy candy out of her room when I find it. I don't buy it. She can have anything else except that. It's a special occasion treat. When she eats gummy candy with me, we spend 15 minutes rinsing, brushing and flossing afterwards. We already have bad genetics regarding our teeth, so I take it seriously. When I'm gone and I don't know she's eaten it, I can't do anything. I'm of the mindset that these are the natural consequences of her actions. She's old enough to know that she can't have it. She's old enough to tell me if she does so we can do the routine. She never gets in trouble, she just doesn't like the routine. She's old enough to know better. Maybe this will terrify her into learning a lesson? Wibta, if I didn't accommodate her anxiety with sedation? Can you get some money from those who sneak her the candy? You are the asshole. I feel sorry for your daughter. Info. If she's had these anti-anxiety meds before for procedures, did you ask her which method she would prefer? I had to get 4 impacted teeth pulled around her age and was so anxious about it and was given Valium beforehand and it definitely did the job. I think if she has had this cocktail of meds before and it went well and is comfortable with it, YWNBTA. Look into other types of sedation that might be less costly. I had extensive dental work done a few years back and the dentist offered to bring in an anesthesiologist or prescribe some sort of sleeping medication. I opted for the pills, which did the job. The only drawback was that I was completely out of it the rest of the day, even into the night a bit. If the dentist balks, talk to your pediatrician to weigh the pros and cons. Try it how it's recommended, first. Am I the asshole for threatening to file a restraining order against my parents? My 22M parents are nutjobs. I have 2 siblings, Diana, 19F, and Luke, 8M. My parents are 50M and 45F. My parents heavily favored my brother and I over our sister. Luke and I were showered in pocket money, gifts etc. while Diana was expected to get a job as soon as it was legal for her to do so. They claimed they wanted to raise her to be strong and independent. But both of them have said they wished they had 3 sons because girls join their husband's family and leave their parents behind, so having them isn't worthwhile. My mother's pregnancy with Diana was also very difficult and the damage that is caused meant that she had many miscarriages while trying to have Luke, all of which were blamed on Diana. Yes, I did stand up for Diana as much as I could until I moved out for college at 17. I tried to get other family members involved, but my parents are amazing at pretending they're not evil. As soon as Diana turned 18 in July 2021, she moved out. Like on the evening of her 18th birthday, I was receiving calls from my parents asking me if I knew where she was because she had disappeared. She had moved in with her friend Savannah's family, and a few months later she started dating Savannah's older brother Michael in November 2021, 25M, and she moved in with him in February 2022. Savannah's family adore my sister and they were happy that she was dating their son, and I know nothing was going on before Diana was 18 because Michael lived abroad until September 2021. My parents disowned Diana in August 2021 when it became clear she wasn't moving back in with them, and they haven't asked me about her either. Now they're constantly harassing me to get them back into contact with her because they found out that she gave birth to her daughter at the beginning of this month. I didn't speak to them much after Diana moved out because they make me sick, but I still wanted to keep in touch with Luke, but the harassment has gotten relentless. They are demanding that I get Diana to speak to them because they have a right to know their granddaughter. They've showed up to my job and home, which scared me as I live with my boyfriend, and my family don't know that I'm into men. I don't know if they're homophobic, but their behavior scares me nonetheless. That prompted me to look into restraining orders, and I think it'll be possible to get one against them. Yesterday, they showed up to my home again and I answered the door, and told them very plainly that they weren't owed access to Diana's child and that I was going to get a restraining order against them if they didn't stop harassing me. My grandmother called me that evening to tell me how heartless I was being because I was denying them access to 2/3 of their children, myself and Diana. She said that threatening to sever family relationships wasn't the way, and I was being a horrible person for not allowing them the option to reconcile with Diana. My grandmother is a very sensible person, so now I'm started to feel like I've gone too far. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Your parents are horrible and you are protecting your sister and niece. They have no rights here. She said that threatening to sever family relationships wasn't the way. I'm sorry. Where was this ass chewing when your parents did literally just that to their own daughter? Which is what this whole thing sparked from. Not the asshole. This isn't just asshole behavior, it's moronic. Not the asshole. Very toxic parents. If they want to see Diana and her baby, they should negotiate with Diana, not try and involve you in a triangulation. They obviously have boundary problems, hence you having to think about resorting to the protection of the law to reinforce your own boundary. If they won't listen, you will have to do it. Involving grandma is just more triangulation. Set a clear boundary with the order. They will probably respect it because they don't seem to be the kind of people who would want to attract police attention or spend a night in the cells. Not the asshole. Get the restraining order, they won't stop otherwise. Why do they want access to her daughter anyway? Isn't she just going to be driven away? You aren't denying them access to anyone. Your sister left and isn't coming back. Your parents showing up to be nasty to her definitely isn't going to change that. They are demanding that I get Diana to speak to them because they have a right to know their granddaughter. How would you even do this? Your grandmother isn't being sensible. She apparently didn't care when they pulled all that original crap on your sister, so who cares what she thinks now? Get the R.O. emo. Not the asshole.